Hello, I'm Nan Simonson. I'm going to wait just a moment for introductions. I'm a little early, but I am shooting from my phone because I'm having computer problems. My Apple is doing strange things. The last Facebook Live I shot, I looked back at, and it was start and stop and wasn't even meshing voice to movement. And yet on my phone it was fine. So I thought it was my internet, but the IT guy says, I think it's your computer. I don't want it to be. Hello, I'm Nan Simonson. I wrote, oh my gosh, it was today, 1 year ago today, wrote prior to that, and then published 1 year ago today, Aging Powerfully. 6 months before the book was published, I decided I'm going to write a book to tell some of my story, which included a almost lifelong eating disorder that I was able to conquer 3 years ago. I'm going on my 4th year. A little of that is spoken of, but more importantly, my belief that through lifestyle, through food, for nourishment, movement, take care of our bodies, community, to take care of our hearts and our spirit, and resilience, sleep, stress relief, time in nature, we can use our lifestyle as medicine and conquer diseases. And I wrote about that in my book and the modalities because going on 4 years now, I'm a health coach with a lifestyle medical practice. I'm on my phone, not on my computer, so I don't know the quality of this, but boy, last week's was terrible and done on my computer, so I'm sorry if the lighting doesn't appear to be as good or whatever. I am going to make this short. I'm honoring Dan Buettner and his new book, which was published a week and a half ago through Amazon and multiple venues, and it is a backup to his Blue Zones book that was published almost 10 years ago and a bestseller, and then his Blue Zones Kitchen book, a fabulous recipe book that he went back to the Blue Zones after the publication of the Blue Zones book. By 11 years after that, he went back and studied the cooking and wrote down the recipes and created the Blue Zones Kitchen. And then this Blue Zones Challenge, what he has realized, and Dan Buettner has spent a lot of time going through our country and working with governments, municipalities to set up blue zones in communities. I'm here in Southern California, one of the 5 blue zones of the world is here in Loma Linda, California, which is 15 minutes away from my home. The other 4 longest living people in the world are Sardinia, Italy, Icaria, Greece, the Nicoya Peninsula of Costa Rica, Okinawa, Japan, and Loma Linda, California. And what he has realized is that it's hard to get people to change their habits by will alone. So instead, you set them up to make the healthy choice the easy choice by reinventing, I'm going to call it environment. I want to recommend, and I have in the last 3 Facebook Live presentations, the acquisition of this book, and you're spending 4 weeks applying as much of it as you can to your life just to see what might happen. As Dan Buettner says, you will see dramatic differences not only in the way you feel and the way you think, but in your health and your happiness and in areas of your life that would surprise you. I'm practicing these things now for 4 years, wrote about them in Aging Powerfully, my book, which you can get on Amazon. And I think back, I'm going to be 71 in less than 2 weeks. And I think back to years that I was struggling that I no longer struggle with. Had to take sleeping pills, couldn't sleep. Had to take antidepressants because I couldn't get myself balanced. Just obsessed with food and eating and weight, and all of that is over by applying lifestyle as medicine. So I want to give you something very simple from this book, and it's one of his most important premises, and I agree. We won't do a thing unless we see the value of it deep in our soul, understand the value. And one of the ways that we understand the value of action is if it aligns with our purpose, who we see ourselves either becoming or having presented that to the world, bringing into reality, why we wake up every day, what lights us up, what makes us tick. I found mine when I was able to conquer my eating disorder, which people, books, therapists, thousands of hours of therapy and effort, couldn't do it. But with a purpose, that is to find a way to conquer a thing, to then be able to help others conquer it, put a new light on everything. And so purpose is paramount. Dan Buettner, in a recent podcast that he made in conjunction with the release of this book, said, let me give you an example of purpose. Let me share you mine. He said, it's clear to me that my purpose is to identify the healthiest people in the world, to take time to understand their wisdom and to bring it back and put it to practice in our lives and show people how to do that. Because we as a people, our American culture, which has been sort of transported all over the world, I'll call it the Western way of living, is creating more illness and a downward spiral at a faster rate than I think we've ever expected. And the Blue Zone living could be the answer. And that's Dan's purpose. My purpose is, as I stated earlier, after struggling for so long, just before I turned 70, I decided I'm putting this down on paper and those recommendations, and I'm going to take it to as many people as I can for as long as I can. I could, based on the way I'm living, based on the parameters, there's a test here that can tell you, based on the way you're living, how long you will live healthy, and then how much longer after that you'll still be alive, and then what the potential is by instituting a few things that can make a difference. That's kind of fun to know. So I'm looking at the potential of 97 years, 94 years if I do nothing new, and 88 years of being completely disease-free if I keep living the way I am right now. I'll take that. My mission then is to say to people in every way I can, and social media seems to be the way that most people can be reached right now, especially with COVID. This is December 27th, 21, and the Omicron is spreading across the country, and it's like, come on, when is this going to end? Maybe that is our new reality. And so what do? We get as healthy as we can. I have not had a cold or flu or anything like that, or COVID, in 3 years. I think that's quite remarkable. I will chalk it up to food and lifestyle. So I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to leave you with a simple formula for purpose right out of Dan Buettner's mouth. There is an instructive exercise that you can take in the book that will help you identify your purpose. But Dan said in his interview, and you can listen to this interview, just Google Chef AJ and Dan Buettner interview, and it was done a couple of weeks ago, no, 1 week ago, when the book was about to or had just been published. A sense of purpose will allow you to go through life with direction, excitement, happiness at the prospect that you can be, for decades to come, an important part of society based on what you have to offer, or to your family, or even to yourself. And those who have purpose, the research shows, have been found to have up to, or at least, 8 years longer of healthy, active life. I'll take that any day. And that has been shown with the Seventh-day Adventists. They're living at least 8 to 12 years longer than Americans who live around their community but don't embrace what they embrace in terms of lifestyle. So to find purpose, this is what Dan said. He said, when AJ said, how can people find purpose? I'm going to paraphrase, but almost quote him. He said, sit in a quiet room with a blank screen or a piece of paper. Create 4 columns. In one column, you're going to put value. What do you value? What's important to you? What makes your heart sing? What makes you stomp your foot and say, no, that will not take place, or yes, this is what I see as the right way to move forward. 2, what are you good at? What is your passion? What do you love to do? That's another column. You're identifying these things, and sometimes it takes time. 3, what do you, we'll leave, I said it wrong. For number 2, what are you good at? And then number 3, what do you like to do? What do you find yourself doing when you don't even have to do it? Be it drawing. In my case, it's cooking. I'm cooking, and I'll show people how to fall in love with whole food, plant-based eating, which I have been exclusively whole food, plant-based for almost 4 years now. Not almost 4 years, going on 4 years now. What are you good at doing? And then finally, the 4th column is the outlet, the way that you express this. And he said, and if you populate all of the columns and then find an intersection of the first 3 with that final one, the outlet, you've got purpose and you've got drive, and you have something that will make you want to wake up with determination, pride, and happiness the rest of your life. I feel that with my sense of purpose. I'm looking forward to turning 71 in just a few days, and then 80, and then 85, and then 90, then 95, then maybe 100. I'm looking forward to that because I know what I'm doing it for and what I want out of those years. I'm excited about it. Take time to do this. 4 columns. What do you value? What are you good at? What do you love to do? And then how can you put that all together and make a difference, create a purpose, and use all of that with your own unique outlet to bring betterment to your family, yourself, and or the world. That's all I have to say today. I hope you have a great day, because I know I'm going to. I want to thank you if you've taken the time to listen to this. I think that there are comments, but I'm on my little teeny screen, and I find that I just have the ability to talk and not be able to read and talk at the same time. So I'll get back to that in just a minute. And God bless you. And this final end to this really wonky year that we've had. There are so many other descriptives, and I'll leave it at a shallow word like wonky. And here's to 2022. I'll be back to you on Tuesday, and we can talk about some other applications of the Blue Zones, and then I'll have finished the book completely and the exercise of it, and then I'll leave that behind. So thank you. Have a great day, and we'll connect later. Bye. I don't know how to end this. Oh my gosh, on the phone. I'll keep experimenting.